Letting everyone get in the chat. Hello, Sam. Hello, Joshua. Philadelphia Eagles in the house.
Woo!
Dancing is what we do.
Is that right? That'd be a cool countdown, huh?
Yeah.
We ought to work on that.
Just like the tech channel, we'll have our own found footage type dancing
like from
scene.
a security camera.
Yeah.
That might be fun. Okay, I'm just waiting for it to show up on my end.
Okay.
Should be shortly. And yeah, we're ready to go. Ready when you are, hon.
Well, there's 5 of you watching, but welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Tailosive Talks podcast. I'm your host, Louise Erickson, and today is co-hosting.
Thank you.
Is my husband, Andrew Erickson. That was very proper English.
Yeah, good to be here. Glad to be back on our Thursday podcast.
This is the second Thursday podcast, right?
Yes, this is the second ever.
We're starting a tradition.
The second annual Thursday on February 21st.
I don't think you understand what annual means.
No, I don't.
I think that means once a year. It'd be like bi-weekly.
Right.
Not bi-weekly. That means twice a month.
Yeah. No, but I'm excited.
Yeah. How are you doing today? How's your day?
Stuff to talk about. It's been better because yesterday was a headache.
Oh.
Yesterday was a horrible day.
Tell me about it.
Just because there's like a billion things going down with the Samsung event. Like, for one issue was prepping everything for the event reaction stream, which I realized I haven't done one on the Mac Mini before, the computer we're using to stream this with right now.
Right, so you're not used to it yet.
Yeah, and there's like a bunch of third-party stuff you have to download in order to get the desktop audio captured. There's a lot that goes into live streaming that people don't realize, I think.
Yeah, I don't realize it. I just watch you do all the work, and I show up. It's great.
As Marquez said, like the goal of YouTubers is to create all their content and make it look easy. Mm-hmm. If you're doing it right, it looks easy. So that's my hope, is that the live stream and the maintaining the broadcast and everything, I hope it looks easy, because that's my goal. It's supposed to make it look seamless and like there's no problems at all and we're professionals. In reality, we have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. And I'm just hoping everything doesn't fall apart constantly. And it just requires my eyes to be jumping all over the place constantly. I'm like looking at the frames dropped. I'm looking at the YouTube stream. I'm looking at the audio levels.
You're like, what is that, chameleon?
Yeah.
Eyes everywhere.
Chameleon with all the eyes. But anyway, yesterday I was prepping for the live stream, and the technical side of it went fine. Luckily, I am a pro by definition. So I was able to get all the technical side of it done. But then halfway through the keynote, all of these YouTubers were uploading their videos on the S10 already, so it was pointless to watch the event, because I was like, well, why do we need the event if we're just gonna, if the YouTubers already upload? So a bunch of people left the stream after that happened, and then
that's annoying.
Yeah, the foldable was annoying, and then while I was filming my rant for the foldable, there were these hooligans outside that were they were showing up in their skateboards and skating all over the place. And I feel like an old grumpy man complaining about the kids. But there were a bunch of kids that were like, I don't know what the terminology is, but kickboarding off the walls.
Wall flips?
Legit, like right off the wall I was filming at.
Right.
And it was getting louder and louder and louder. And I was just like, okay, I'm sorry. I ain't having this. So all of this pent up energy on the Galaxy Fold, which I hate with a passion, came out when I opened the door and just said, hey, there's people working here. You can't just bounce your skateboards off the wall.
Go and bother someone else.
I went ape crap on them. I just yelled and yelled and yelled until they left. So then that was like halfway through the video, and then I filmed the rest of it, and then editing it, exporting it. Finally it got up, but it was a long day, so today
good for
was
you,
more
hon. I'm
chillax.
glad you stood up for yourself.
Thank
which
you.
is hard to be an adult sometimes, but
yeah,
gotta do what you gotta do.
It was legit ruining my audio, and I picked it up several times when editing the video, and I was like, okay, I gotta cut that out, and they shouldn't be doing that,
Right?
It's not
disrespectful.
Allowed. Yeah.
It's like you think that's fun when you're young, but then like you grow up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And you become a senile
yeah,
adult.
you become the adult that's like, get out of here,
Hey,
you hoodlums.
yeah.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. And the sad thing about it is probably some of the best kids in town because, hey, they weren't inside watching videos, playing games. They were doing something.
Yeah.
You know, they were outside and they were skateboarding, which is
Enjoying
athletic.
the parking lot.
They were enjoying the nice weather
Yeah.
and they were being athletic and exercising.
What?
And I was
I don't know if
yelling
I'd
at 'em.
consider skateboarding athletic. Okay.
Really?
Now all these skateboarders are going to come out.
I was going to say, I've roughly tried to do skateboarding,
Right.
and it's not easy. So I'm
I'm
sure
not saying it's easy.
athletically challenging, but
Okay. I'll give you that.
they're being active, and I was hating them on them for it.
But you had a better day today. No hoodlums.
Much better, much more
bothering you.
chillaxed. I didn't get as much done, but I didn't care because views were good, watch time was good, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna take it easy today.
It's okay to
Live
have
a
that
life.
attitude sometimes. You got to enjoy life as well.
Right.
Not be so stressed out.
Yeah, exactly. Take
And
some time.
It looks like we've got some super chats here.
Wow, thank you guys.
One from Trainer K10.
Trainer K10.
Oh, yeah, he said his name was Katen, and that's why
Oh, Katen.
from last time.
Good memory.
He said, just wanted to show my support. Well, thank you. We
Thank you
appreciate
very
it.
much. That's nice of you.
And then Evan Faulkner.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, can you talk about the app? Check your Twitter.
A lot of people keep asking about the app.
Yes. Well, give us some updates on it.
What I can confirm is that if you want any updates, asking me is the absolute worst way to do it. Because,
Why? You know what's going on, right?
Kind of. My involvement in the app is very little other than creative advice. That's about it. The majority of developing an app goes into the developer writing code and patching code to make sure the app is stable and doesn't crash.
Mm-hmm.
That's the majority of making an app.
Right.
The part of just listing things you want the app to do, that's
creative
incredibly
side.
simple. That's the easiest thing anyone could do.
Mm-hmm.
You and I can sit here for 10 minutes and think of a great app.
Mm-hmm.
We could be like, oh, I want the app to act this way, and it could have these cool little gradients, and people can comment, and they can watch it, and they can scrub through, and then picture-in-picture support it. Like, anyone can do that. So that's my only...
Why didn't YouTube do that? And be like, for iOS, we're going to have picture-in-picture. Is that more like or Apple is in charge of that stuff, or is that more of the app developer?
It depends if you're talking about the iPhone or the iPad. On the iPad, on the iPhone, there's no picture-in-picture. So
I'm saying like who's in charge of that?
That's on Apple.
Okay.
So Apple needs to add picture-in-picture to the iPhone.
Step up your game, Apple.
YouTube, regardless, the sad thing is, even if Apple had picture-in-picture on the iPhones, then you still couldn't use it on YouTube because they don't enable it on the iPad, even though the iPad supports it. They choose not to have it because it's iOS and they want it to be an Android thing. So even if Apple had it on...
Wait, what are you talking about? Picture-in-picture?
Yeah. You said you want it on the iPhone?
I thought it was on iPad. Is it not?
Not on YouTube. That's on YouTube's end. That's their fault because the iPad supports picture-in-picture, but the YouTube app specifically...
But I've seen you do that thing where you like have multiple apps open at the same time. What is that?
Well, picture-in-picture is on the iPad.
But not YouTube.
But not YouTube. Because
so you can't have YouTube on one side and then something else on another. I could have sworn.
No, I can't. I'm doing it right now. I'm watching YouTube and I'm on Twitter simultaneously.
But you just told me that doesn't.
That's not picture-in-picture. That's just split view. I'm using two apps at once.
See, this is where it gets confusing. There's like too many terms.
Picture-in-picture is what I did earlier.
Right, where it's just like a literal picture over the screen.
And the box comes out of that window, and then you can leave that app and keep doing other things, and it'll still be there. Twitch supports it. If people were watching us on Twitch.
On all phones, all UIs?
Not the iPhone, obviously, because the iPhone doesn't have picture-in-picture. But on the iPad, you can leave the app and still have, like, even on the home screen, you can have this Twitch stream running. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they don't support it. But anyways, in response to Netflix has picture-in-picture. I think Hulu has picture-in-picture. Most apps on the iPad have it, except YouTube, because they're like, that's an Android thing. Gotta buy an Android.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like they're losing customers over that.
I think they'd gain customers because
by not doing it, they're losing customers.
How so?
By not having picture-in-picture?
But YouTube's free. So in order for them to gain a customer, they have to sell an Android phone. Meaning they're hoping you, the end user, goes, oh no, there's no picture-in-picture on the iPad. Oh, but it's on the Android. So then they go out and buy an Android because it has that feature.
But I mean, if Apple added picture-in-picture on the iPhone, wouldn't they get more buyers or
Apple,
potential customers?
Well, what's a customer to YouTube?
I'm talking about. Okay, this is getting confusing.
Okay.
Anyways, Apple should add it.
Yeah, they should add it to the phone. But I'm just saying, even if they did, you couldn't use it on YouTube because
Oh, they're purposefully not
YouTube
adding
is
it on
intentionally
iPhone
not adding it to the iPad, even though it supports
or
it.
any iOS device,
Right. I'm saying
so that they can get more customers for their Google phones.
they want to sell you Android. You know how you like that about the Pixel?
Yeah.
You like picture-in-picture? That's what they're hoping for. They're like, oh, Louise likes picture-in-picture on the Android, so she'll stick
So
with
I
that.
should be mad at Google.
Yes. No picture-in-picture on the iPad, that's YouTube's fault. No picture-in-picture on the iPhone, that's Apple's fault because they don't have it for any app, whereas the iPad can. But in regards to your question, Evan, I have very little to do with the development of the app because all I do really in the development process is say what I want it to do.
He is the Steve Jobs of this app.
I'm
He just
the
has the
visionary.
Wozniaks do all the work.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I didn't contact our developer and say,
Yeah.
hey, make me an app. He came to me and said, I want to make you an app. And I was like, if it can
That
do
seems
this
to
and
be how the
this.
story goes for like everything that happens in your life. It's like the editor comes to you and it's like, hey, I want to edit for you.
One day I'll actually reach out to some. Well, the thing is, I'm never like,
You're
I
not
don't-
desperate for anything or anyone.
well, I'm never like sitting at work going, man, I need someone else to do something for me. Like if I need to get something done, I'm going to do it myself.
Right.
If someone else approaches
You have
me
that
and offers,
self-initiation.
right. Like I'm not going to sit at my desk thinking, I want an app. Someone make me an app. Go make me an app. But if someone else approaches me and says, hi, Drew, I'm a big fan of your work.
Right.
I would like to make you an app. I go, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that type of attitude is very entitled to be like, I want an app. Someone should, do that for
Yeah.
me. But
Who do I have to call? Who do I have to contact? I know
Yeah.
a lot of people like
instead, they're seeking you,
that.
which is really, really nice.
It is very generous.
And
of
who's
them.
the name of the guy who's doing it? Is it undercover?
No, it's Ethan.
Okay.
You can contact him via Twitter for suggestions or questions on app development at Tailosive Dev. So
Oh, wow.
spell Tailosive same way and then DEV. He's on Twitter. He's posting updates pretty much daily on here's what the app looks like. Here's
There's
what
not
it
a
does now.
Tailosive app account?
No, this we consider dev because it could possibly go into more website development. So it's more than just the app, but depends.
Right.
So for the people asking about the app, I'm really a terrible source because I can't tell you how close the app is to being finished. I can just tell you what I want the app to do, which we've already talked about, which is just be a central hub for Tailosive. Just be like a one central place where if you want to watch all the Tailosive videos at once in one location, the podcast, the tech vids, the movie reviews.
Right.
you
And
want
you're
it all
still
in
figuring
one.
out pricing for everything.
Yeah, we're still figuring out.
This is very early
financing
stages.
It's not close to being released. That's
Yeah.
what you should know. But like I said, the long part of the process is just the coding and getting things right because we don't have like
Yeah,
a full
I mean,
app
I'm
team.
really impressed with Ethan. He's like,
Oh, yeah.
what, 15, 12,
No,
7 years old, and he's creating this app for you?
no, he's not 7 or 12.
How old is he?
No, I think he's like 17, but
Okay. Still, that's very
he's
impressive.
he's self-taught app developer and he's very talented. And,
See, guys, this is
very
what
grateful.
this is what our generation should be doing. It's teaching ourselves
Yeah.
to do these cool things.
Learn to code.
Yes.
There's a whole backstory to that statement. But
Ben Close was suggesting, when the app is launched, can you do a Steve Jobs impression and do a live keynote and like wear the black turtleneck and everything, a giant white screen in the back, just walk
Yeah.
around with a what are those things called?
we could go to some like amphitheater and film it.
Rent out a whole theater and it's just you and
Yeah.
like your close family.
There's like 3 people in the stands and they're watching.
I dig this. I like this idea.
Oh, here's a good super chat question.
Yes.
What is it?
Ashley says, how much did you two spend on your wedding?
$80,000.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. If
No.
we had that money, we'd be buying a house
Yeah.
or at least putting a down payment.
Yes.
We spent very little on our wedding. Like literally every single aspect, like my wedding dress, my ring. We either bought it like super cheap online or
Yes.
bought it.
Do you want to go into specifics or do
Yeah.
you want to keep it?
Well,
Okay.
I can't even think like what did we pay for because the venue was free. We got
Well,
married in a backyard.
Yeah. It was
A beautiful backyard.
my grandmother's backyard, but she owns a very, very nice piece of property with a river that runs, a creek, I should say, that runs through it with very, very beautiful trees, redwoods.
Yeah, this was during the fall, so all the leaves were changing colors, and
it was gorgeous.
it was a perfect backdrop.
And free.
Yeah, and free.
And they even handled a lot of that food. I think most of it.
Yeah, there were only like 12 to 16 people there because there was a catastrophe that happened a few days before our wedding. So
for
we ended
numerous
up,
reasons. We wanted a small wedding in the first place.
yeah,
But
we ended up canceling like the large reception and just doing a small ceremony.
originally, we wanted like 50 people to be there at the reception.
Originally we wanted like 10.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying the original plan,
Oh yeah.
once we had prepared everything, was that there would be like 50 people. And then because of the campfire, we had to scale things back, scale things down. And of course, a ton of people we invited couldn't make it because of the evacuations. So it ended up being just like the main essentials, which was like 12, 13 people.
Yes.
So we didn't need to buy a ton of food or anything.
Yeah. So basically we just paid for like our paperwork, like the marriage certificates.
I think that was the most expensive part.
Yeah,
The marriage certificate was like $90 or something.
Yeah. I mean, we had his dad do the ceremony for us. Like he officiated for us. So that was
my
free.
dad was, what's the word? Ordained?
Yeah. By the state of California.
Yeah, but he's been an ordained minister before. He's married other people
he
together.
married his cousin.
No, not like that. But no, he's it's not the first time he's done it. He was a pastor for a long time.
And he was honored to do it. And we were really happy that it turned out the way it did.
He was short and sweet too. He was like 12 minutes, I think, max.
Yeah. Anyway, so back to the question. We probably spent less than $1,000 on everything, and
probably less than 500.
even including our honeymoon.
Oh, okay. Is that do you consider that part of the wedding?
Well, no, it's not, but it's like all similar.
Yeah.
I paid for the honeymoon. Drew paid for all the food on the honeymoon, which cost as much as the
Almost
honeymoon.
as much, yeah, just about.
But yeah, you guys should marry cheap. Like, don't waste your money on something like. Your wedding day should be special, but you also should not put your life savings into it. Like, you should start thinking more about the future and also think about whether the marriage is actually like what you guys are doing it for rather than the wedding.
Right.
But
I think it's a huge mistake. A lot of married couples start off marriage with an enormously expensive wedding. They want to invite everyone they've ever met to come, and it ends up costing them $10,000, $20,000 because for one, it's extremely stressful. For two, married couples, when they first get married, at least have lots of expenses they have to start either saving or preparing for.
Right. Finding your first place together.
Yes, and saving for a house and for shared expenses, and eventually you're going to have to start prepping for kids if that is potentially in your future. So I think it's a really bad idea that a lot of couples like start off their marriage with that huge expense, because as big as a deal as you want to make it, as exciting as you are, or as excited as you are for it, and you guys really, really want to hype it up, it's really one day. And
it is.
Once it's behind you, like this, you got to remember the wedding's about marriage. It's not about the wedding.
That's true. Take as many pictures as you can, though, if you have like a photographer.
Sure.
And our friend took our photos for us, so that was free as well. Thank you, Randy.
In Randy Vasquez from the Tech Podcast.
Yeah.
Flew up and helped us out.
He's a great friend.
Very, very great. I wish he could visit in better circumstances.
Yeah. Well, he is visiting next month in
end of March.
Right, a little over a month.
Right.
And you guys should guess how much my wedding dress cost, because that's probably like the craziest thing about everything we bought.
I bet someone will get it right.
Okay. Well, you guys guess it in the
guess
chat.
In the chat how much Louise's wedding dress cost.
People keep asking if there's going to be a season 3 of, what was it called?
Completely Irrelevant?
Yes.
No.
Why not?
God, no.
Can we reboot it? And
problem with Completely Irrelevant is it became reality a couple months ago, so.
I don't remember what happened.
You remember Max?
Yes.
We're not on the best of terms anymore.
Was that in the script? Are you writing your own life
no.
right now?
This is just like
that one movie.
It's reality. Is like Max had kind of a, what do you call
falling out? You guys had a falling out?
Me and him had a bit of a falling out more recently this year. So I haven't heard from him since that falling out. So I don't think there's going to be a completely relevant season 3.
Oh.
Well, most people are way over.
Okay, I can tell you it's more than $1.
It is more than $1.
Less than $1,300.
Yeah.
So somewhere in, oh my gosh, $4,500.
Somewhere in between there.
Okay, none of you got it right, so let's move on.
Yeah.
Spill the tea. Oh, Emily. Hi.
Oh, Emily
She's in the
Boyle's
chat.
What's
That's
up,
Drew's
Em?
sister.
My sister.
Sister.
Thanks for joining.
I guess she's my sister too now.
Yeah,
Now
sister-in-law.
that we're married.
No, right now my main goal on the main channel is to just be able to keep up with one short a week because they make very little money. Mm-hmm. But I do care about that channel. It's still like where everything started. Mm-hmm. So I'm passionate about it and making sure that there's skits and comedy channel, but I can't confirm or I don't want to give anyone hopes that there's going to be anything more than just the one short a Saturday. Because that's pretty much that I'm losing money on those right now. Mm-hmm. Like the last short got copyright claimed. I made no money on that.
Wait, really?
Anyway,
what was the hot one or the mild ones?
No, that was like 3 weeks ago. I'm talking about
which one?
The Razor Sheep.
Why was it? Because Razor was in it?
No, there was some music in it, and it got claimed. So I made no money on that, but I'm fine with it because I don't really make any money off of those shorts. I think my revenue for the main channel last month was $20.
Hey, that's free dinner.
Which is like 10 hours of work or something. But
hey,
yeah.
I want to go in this with you.
Okay.
Can we do more parodies? And like, I haven't really been on the channel much, but we talked about this a little bit before.
Yeah.
But I want to do some like 90-day skits, and also someone was asking if there's going to be a buying houses too, and I'd love to do like a Chip and JoJo kind of skit.
We've wanted to do
houses.
that for the last 2 years, actually.
Yeah, ever since we first started dating.
When we first started dating, we wanted to do a Chip and JoJo recreation or parody because cable TV is so easy to make fun of. Like I could just flip on any random cable TV channel and boom, there's my next short. Just make a parody of this. Mm-hmm. It's so easy, and it's really funny. But yeah, the main problem with shorts isn't shortage of ideas. I got like plenty of ideas and executions, but it's what ideas can I execute within 3 hours and get it done by Saturday. That's the main problem.
Well, a Chip and JoJo short, that'd just be us, right?
Yeah, but you got to find out what places you can film at. You got to find out what houses you're allowed to film at.
We can do Emily's apartment.
You want to show the outside of people's houses and put it on the internet.
Why does that have to be outside?
Well, most of Chip and JoJo stuff is outside. I don't know. I'm just saying, like,
we should just go to like open houses and film it. Be like, this house is horrible.
Right. No, the original buying houses took a good two days to film. 2 or 3 days, and then like a whole day of editing. There was a lot of work that went into it.
Yeah, I could tell. You went to like 4 different locations.
Yeah, it was not easy. Mm-hmm. But
I love your acting in it. You play such a good effeminate man. Like that sounds really weird considering you're my husband.
No, that was my goal. I was watching what was it called? I think my parents were watching, or my grandma was watching Property Brothers. Mm-hmm. And that's what I was getting inspiration from. And so I was like, these guys that talk about fixing up houses and changing things, and yet
making
it looks
seem really easy.
They never like do any manual labor. Like they just like
they tell everyone else what to do.
It's almost a James Charles impression.
Is it?
Hi, sisters. Yeah, almost like that. But
that's going to be coming up in a couple weeks. Maybe we can do a makeup challenge on the Erickson's channel. I really want to do your makeup.
Parody.
Please.
And I'll put like 3 pounds of makeup on.
Yes.
They'll do my eyelashes and everything.
Can I do it?
My dad will hate this.
Why?
I don't know. He just doesn't like it when I do
girly
stuff. Even though
he's so old fashioned. Okay, well let's not disappoint Dad.
I think that's a natural discouragement from a father. Your father probably doesn't want. Fathers don't want their sons looking like girls. Usually, that's just a general trend.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
What's our next topic?
Well, we wanted to talk about something you're interested in, because we always talk about tech stuff and things I know a lot about. Mm-hmm. But you know a lot about Elizabeth...
Holmes.
Holmes.
Elizabeth Holmes.
Mm.
Emily says, Dad dressed up as an Egyptian princess. He can't talk.
Good point.
I
He
was
did
not
dress
there
up.
for that. I want to
Yeah,
see
that's
that.
an old video. My dad. Well, it was for the kids. He's a teacher. He was entertaining like kindergartners. But yeah, he dressed up as an Egyptian princess once,
Very nice.
and it was quite funny. But so what's her last name again? Elizabeth
Holmes.
Holmes.
Elizabeth Holmes.
Gotcha.
So this woman, when she was 19, she was going to, I think, Harvard.
Yeah.
And she decided after a year of going there that she was going to drop out and start this company called Theranos.
Theranos,
like Thanos with an
I was
era in
gonna
it.
say. Sounds like Thanos.
She's got the fist. But I just found it really interesting because she created basically this medical device that can test blood for blood diseases from like a single pinprick instead of having like an IV thing in your arm.
Okay, that's cool.
Someone asked what the Ericsson channel is called. It's called The Ericssons. Sorry.
They might be trolling you. That became a meme last stream.
Sorry.
People were like, how
I'll
do you
spell it
spell
in the chat.
Tailosive? And then they spell it exactly.
Theranos. So anyways, so she built this machine and it supposedly could test like up to 400 different types of blood diseases and stuff like that. Like she had some pretty crazy claims.
Okay.
And she got backed up by like a ton of investors. And at one point the company was worth like $10 billion. And she was in her 20s too when all this was happening. Right. She started the company when she was 19.
What year was this?
She's 31 now, so 12 years ago.
Oh,
2000,
okay.
like
so
2008.
This is all fairly recent.
Yeah, 2008.
Okay, got it.
But it's recently come out that the whole thing was a scam and the machine never worked. So she had this contract, or Theranos had this contract with Walgreens that they would be selling this black machine that tests the blood to consumers. Yeah. Her vision was basically to make it easier for people to test their own blood like in their homes. So they wouldn't have to go to a doctor. They would just test their blood, send in like the little vial of blood or whatever to Theranos, and then they would
kind of like 23andMe except with blood.
Yeah, so they would read the data and then give the customer back like, oh, you have this and your blood sugar, I don't know, stuff like that. And it turns out they were like kind of cherry picking the information that they were sending back, and a lot of the information was incorrect.
Oh my God.
So now she's in jail, I'm pretty sure. Okay. I hope she's in jail.
Yeah.
So the company is worth like nothing now.
Well, yeah, it's probably owes money.
Oh, right? There's a SpaceX launch.
Yeah,
in 15 minutes. That. Okay, we'll have to end the stream
SpaceX
then.
Launch, like, no.
We'll have to end the stream in 15 minutes so we can watch the launch.
No, you guys can watch the launch if you want to. We'll still be here, but you can probably hear about the SpaceX launch after the fact, but. Yes. Elon's not going to be reading your messages.
And Elon will be posting some cringy meme on his Twitter afterwards.
When is he going to host Meme Review? He's got to get that done.
I know. He's got to come on our podcast. We'll ask him all the questions.
I'd love. Oh, I have so many questions for Elon.
Okay, give me some example questions.
Okay. While charging up cars means less gasoline usage for everyday consumers, doesn't that put more power requirement on the power plants, which could be powered by coal and in return cause more emissions with everyone switching to electric, because you're changing where the gas or coal is burned, but it's still being burned.
Somewhere along the process.
Somewhere along the process, it could technically be, but I don't know for sure because I don't know the comparisons. My counter argument to that, I would want to ask him that because I genuinely want to see what he thinks of that, because that's most people's counter argument to the Tesla is that it's not actually that healthy for the environment. Mining lithium is also not healthy for the environment. What lithium does when you're trying to mine that out of the ground, and the more and more we're going to require that. Is lithium
a naturally occurring element? I always thought that was like something created. I can look it up.
There's a lot of questions that I would ask him. Like, I think personally, as a guy who's kind of into air travel and aviation, I think his idea of using the Starship or whatever they call it now, the SpaceX Falcon rocket, trying to sell tickets for people to go to Mars, or
he's doing that?
Well, that's his goal, as you said. The kind of like how a Boeing 747, when you ride on one, the price that everyone pays for their ticket doesn't cover the price of the plane. But because it's reusable and the plane is going back and forth and carrying passengers both ways, over time it makes money.
Right.
But it's not a one flight, like we don't, as passengers on a plane, cover the price of the plane.
I wonder how many flights it would take from here to Mars for it to pay for the rocket ship.
Right. Well, that's his idea, is to make reusable rockets that go back and forth to Mars, and the tickets they're still absurdly expensive, but it's supposed to be somewhat reasonable. Like his end goal, his dream, is to get a ticket to Mars to $200,000.
Wow.
But that's a 4-year trip minimum, So
Really? 2 years there, 2 years back?
Well, it takes 8 months to get there.
Right.
And once you get there, you have to wait another 2 years before Mars and Earth align again so that you can get back, because they're in different orbiting positions around the sun. So
that's more like 3 years and 6 months, 4 months.
I rounded up 4 years. In the grand scheme of things, it's a long time to be gone. And I'm just saying, I do not think he's potentially saying that with Starship, he'll be able to fly 100 people per flight. So you're getting 100 people to spend $200,000 on a Mars trip, and I don't think that's going to work at all. I really don't. I think that's way too out there. And I'm not.
How many
against
people just have $200,000
travel.
laying around? Actually, I looked up the other day how many millionaires there are in the world. 36 million.
There's millions of millionaires.
36 million millionaires. Not
interesting.
I don't know if that was just for the U.S. Probably not, because that's like 10% of the population.
Sure.
It's probably all around the world. But it's crazy. There are millions of millionaires.
There are. But I'm saying those millionaires aren't going to want to leave Earth for 3.5 years.
Well, yeah, if they have the money. Like, this is kind of heaven if you're, super uber rich and can do whatever.
Yes.
Like, what's out there for you? Some dirt?
I think it's a psychological toll that people aren't thinking about. Every time I hear about Elon talking about going to Mars, it sounds like this fun vacation. He's always like, I think it'd be cool to go to Mars. And it's funny because I like hearing him talk about like almost impossible things, like he's just going to do them, because Elon Musk in a lot of ways has achieved the impossible. And I really look up to him, and I think he's really inspiring. But I think his mind is a little bit too engineer focused, and he's openly said he's not a good businessman. Like, his mindset is not from the consumer, it's mostly from an engineering point of view. And in my mind, he's not considering a lot of these business ventures. Like that method of paying for the rocket, it's not going to work. Even his idea to have the rocket fly Earth to Earth really quickly, like he said, you could fly from London to Australia in like an hour because it goes to space. Still wouldn't work. There's too many problems with space travel. The whole reason like supersonic airliners haven't, no pun intended, taken off. There's really interesting channels, and there's a YouTube channel called Mustard that does a lot of aerial videos.
Yeah, I remember you watching a bunch of these videos about like the Concorde and stuff. Like, tell us more about that.
Basically, what he goes into is about finding a plane in a way for airliners to make a profit so that they can buy planes, transport people, and get it at an efficient price is not a battle of just making the fastest plane possible. If that were true, we would all be flying supersonic jets. But we're not, because there's this certain balance that most Boeing planes have to rest on. Like, they have to get to a point where the fuel, the maintenance of the plane doesn't cost too much, because the tickets for the consumer will get too expensive too fast if the plane or the aircraft requires too much maintenance. And the faster the plane, typically the more fuel it requires, the more powerful the engines, the more maintenance it requires.
Right.
So if you get a faster plane, what results in this price of your ticket going from here, okay, we got propeller planes in the 20th century, now we got jets, they get a little bit more. Once you hit supersonic travel, it's like, boom, shoots up. And we had the Concorde for a little while. It was an operational plane until, I think, 2003.
Well, wasn't the biggest issue with it is that it wasn't reliable? Like, 1 out of 10 flights didn't even take off. That
was a big part of it. And Mustard talks about that. It was a very unreliable plane. But that kind of comes with supersonic travel. The faster you want your plane to go, the more dangerous it is. Yes.
Do you remember?
I remember that video. The Droot Snoop or something like that. The Snoop
What's
Droop.
that one song we used to
video.
sing? It's like, nice legs, Daisy.
Dude,
makes that
makes a girl go Droot Snoop.
Make that girl go droop snoot.
Right.
We're great.
Exactly. That's perfect. But yeah, I would just ask him about the technical side of it because we've had planes that can go really fast, but they're insanely expensive and they can't fly as far because of the sonic boom. Like they discovered that the Concorde can't fly domestic flights because once it breaks the sound barrier, it would shatter windows of skyscrapers.
Right. Even from 30,000 feet above or however high it was.
Yeah, they could be super high in the air, and because of the sonic boom, it would cause windows and stuff to break.
Well, is that really the plane's fault or the window manufacturer? They should just create windows that don't shatter.
Yeah, that would be out of
soundproof, sonic boom-proof windows. We're going to start it, Drew. Our own window company.
We just have to change everyone's window first. That's much easier. But yeah, they ran a test actually when they wanted to fly the Concorde domestically. They ran an experiment. They were like, okay, we're going to do sonic booms over the city just for a little while.
Where did they decide?
This
Arizona?
was in Houston, I think.
Okay.
They were like, we're going to do it just for a little while and see if people complain.
Okay.
They had to cancel the tests because
Why?
That's how much people were complaining. It was immediately shattering windows of skyscrapers, and they threatened to sue the airport because they were like, you guys got to quit now. They were going to do it for 2 weeks, and they cut it short.
Yeah, imagine that was the day like some guy was feeling suicidal.
Oh, no.
So sorry.
Oh, no.
Not going to make suicide jokes.
Oh, my God.
That wasn't a joke. Someone was asking about this.
Okay.
If this was a charger.
It is a charger.
Tell people what it is.
Someone named Aaron, who is a Tailosive fan from Germany, made this because he said that he wanted to support the network, but he didn't have money to donate, which is totally fine. It's not required. But he made this. It's a wireless charger / Apple Watch charger. So you take your third party,
Qi charger,
any standard square looking Qi charger. You slide it in here, and then you put your Apple Watch charger in the hole in the top. And so it takes 2 cables, you plug them in, and then you rest the little T on your desk or your table, and when you put your phone here, it'll charge, and then you can put your watch at the top, it'll charge. And I've made a post about this on Instagram if you want to see it working. Right now it's not plugged in and set up, but still really cool. Probably one of the coolest things I think a fan has ever sent me.
Yeah, it's very creative and also functional. I think it's the best of both worlds. Combining.
It is.
And
really
it matches our background.
It does. We got so many T's everywhere.
TT.
We need more Tailosive T's.
Yes.
What did you say?
No. We need more custom Tailosive stuff.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it. But yeah, I'm also rocking the latest merch. There's so many T's in this stream. There's one there.
And where can they find this merch?
There's one here. Teespring.
Literal Teespring.
Yeah. I only went with
plan that?
Teespring because they had YouTube integration, and I thought that was cool. You can just kind of build it into the
So why don't you
video.
do that here? Or is that only for tech?
You can't do it on
every channel?
Channels this small.
How many subscribers or watch minutes do you need?
I think there's so many different thresholds YouTube has. There's like, you can do this at this size. You can do this at this size. And I get them mixed up. But I think to have YouTube integration, I think you need 30,000.
Oh, yeah, we're not even close.
Maybe it's 100,000. I can't recall. It's one of those. I'm having a hard time remembering.
Well, either way, it's going to be a while then.
It is definitely going to be a while.
Unless this channel goes viral somehow.
Somehow it'll
contacts a disease and goes viral.
One
we'll
day
need to take this channel to a doctor.
It'll be cool. Anyway, did you want to talk more about your scammer expert? Why does that interest you? Like what about it? Because I know you've been following it a lot, but what about that story? Like,
you exaggerate a little bit. I watched like 2 videos about her. I don't know. It's interesting to me how so many people believe this person that had no experience in the medical field. She literally just said, "Hey, I built this thing," and no one ever asked her to like prove it to them. She literally got billions of dollars from investors and no one like investigated to make sure that it worked.
Oh, it's bizarre.
She
got that far.
Right. She really looked up to Steve Jobs and would actually
It's a great
copy.
scammer.
Right. She
I'm
considered
kidding.
herself to be like the next Steve Jobs.
Wow.
She thought she was going to be the Steve Jobs of like the medical field.
Mm-hmm.
And she would wear black turtlenecks and do this like a
Oh,
similar.
literally
Yeah.
rival Steve Jobs. Wow.
Yeah. And
okay.
she would call him Steve as if he was her. Oh my gosh.
Like
I can't
she
speak.
knew him.
He was her friend.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow.
she was a little, I think she's like a pathological liar.
Interesting.
And oh, someone said Elizabeth Holmes did have a lot of Silicon Valley connections through
Interesting.
her family. Yes, I think someone in her family worked for like Enron. Like her dad was like,
So I know Steve Jobs, basically.
well, Enron is like, I think a pharmaceutical, actually don't know. I think it's a pharmaceutical company. And so she came from money, basically.
Exactly.
So that helps the crazy kind of like fly by if you have the money to back it up.
It's kind of like the what's that documentary we watched? Fire Festival.
Yeah.
You can like sell people on an idea so easily. That was a cool documentary,
That's
wasn't
the thing about these like super charismatic people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be, you don't need proof. You just need to have confidence. You need to fake it till you make it, And I think that's how that guy got so far with this whole festival. Like,
I mean, in a lot of ways, we're all faking it till we make it. I am able to convince a lot of people that I'm running some kind of major company.
right.
I've had people in live streams ask me, like, who's your CFO? And
Yeah, but
how many people work here?
you've never told someone like, oh, I'm $1 billion company.
No, I would never ask people to, like, invest.
Right.
People, like, not customers, viewers want to.
They're kind of customers.
In a
You're
way.
providing a service for them and they're getting something out of it.
Right, but they're buying time. The donations are completely extra. They're not required by any means. I think almost all of the content I make is completely free. Mm-hmm. It's just I get paid by YouTube to have them on the site the more they watch.
Right.
So it's not exactly the same thing as like saying, hey, I'm a big shot. I can make your wildest dreams come true with this revolutionary new product, and I just need $10,000 investment startup cost. Like, I'm not doing that, but you do try to give the illusion, I think, is a growing channel in a lot of ways that, like, you're professional, you know what you're doing, you know what you're talking about. And in a lot of ways, we are faking it, I think.
Well, I think you're more real than you let on. Like, what people view is not necessarily, like, what you're putting out there. Mm-hmm. Like, how you see yourself is different than how others view you.
Sure.
And even though your company's not worth billions or anything, you're still putting a lot of work into it. And you are kind of a one-man show.
I am. Right, for now, I am, yeah.
Yes. But you have a bunch of people, willing to back you up and to help you.
Absolutely. Lots of very, very willing participants that are helping me out, which I'm very grateful for and I do appreciate. And, of course, I have you by my side during all of it. Whether or not you're on camera or off camera, you're helping me out and being very supportive. So I do appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you for being here for me.
I will always be here for you. Ooh, someone said Soja Pods. Should we talk about this Soja Boy scandal?
Yeah, that's another good example. I mean, not a great example. I think Elizabeth
That's more like
Holmes
copywriting.
He was just being an idiot. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He was being so stupid about it. But Elizabeth Holmes was more of a intelligent, wise scammer because she was able to convince a lot of people. I don't know that many people that fell for Soldier Tech or whatever.
Right.
It was a meme like the week it started.
Mm-hmm. Also, isn't Nintendo suing him because he was using these Chinese knockoffs?
That's why I was laughing so hard when he started tweeting that like Smash Bros was coming out, because Nintendo is notoriously known for like copyright claiming people. Uh-huh. Like they are big time on making sure that they get reimbursed for the content that they produce, and if you stream yourself playing a Nintendo game, they're going to get their cut. Like they don't let you just stream it.
Really?
They want to make sure they get
It's
a piece
that
of your
crazy?
revenue. Like Nintendo's very uppity about that kind of thing.
Is there a major game that people stream?
Breath of the Wild is a good example. Like a lot
So
of
they
people,
literally take like what, half the revenue, or
I don't think it's half, but way more than most games. Like Minecraft, you can stream it all you want. Who cares? It's like you can just play Minecraft or you can play Fortnite. They don't care. In fact, Fortnite has ways to support the streamers. built
Right, I
into
feel
the
like
game.
that's good because
Yeah.
then you're getting more exposure for your game. More people are going to play it. If more people watch this video, it's like,
Most game developers are that way.
I guess
mean,
Nintendo's so big that they don't really need more exposure.
perhaps, but yeah, I've always found them. A lot of people call them kind of the Apple of gaming companies because they're kind of exclusive with their games, and they don't want to support other consoles as much, and they want to make sure that only their hardware has their games, and they only run it on there, and they don't want to outsource it and things like that. But I disagree in several ways. But regardless, it made me laugh seeing Soulja Boy claim that Nintendo software was going to be on his hardware because I was like, dude, they are going to put a hit price on you. They're going to get you killed.
I'm surprised. Like, he's still on Twitter. Sometimes he still like posts stuff about the new releases he's got. It's like he doesn't learn his lesson.
He's writing his own tombstone.
His own death wish.
He's like, dude, you're just digging yourself
What
a
if
deeper
he's
grave.
like legit making money from this? And
Oh, I'm sure he is. Some people are probably falling for it, but you can buy those knockoffs
I
on
need to
other
see
sites.
like his revenue. Like, is he making thousands? Is he making hundreds of thousands?
Well, I guarantee you every dollar he makes, Nintendo's going to ask for 5 in return.
Really?
Probably. Like, Nintendo is mean.
Well, I'm excited to see the lawsuit whenever it comes out.
Oh, CC said Nintendo announced recently they're going to stop with the strict copyright nonsense. Well, that's good.
Really? Why
I
change
didn't
now?
see that, but I don't know. Probably enough people are complaining. But Dylan super chatted.
Oh, thank you, Dylan.
He asked, what's the price of the Tailosive app? Which is, if all goes according to plan, the app will be free with ads. They won't be like YouTube ads where there's little videos that play before my videos play. And instead, it'll be like while you're scrolling through all the videos, there will be one tile that's like a little banner with a little ad in it. And then you can remove the ads for a low monthly subscription. We figured out that's the best way we can make this app and not lose money on it, because those are factors we had to consider. Is like, don't
like all the lost viewers from YouTube. Have you considered having two options to remove ads, like one with minimal ads, like maybe one ad every couple videos, and then one that has ads on every video, and having them at different tiers, like one would be $3 a month and maybe the other one would be 10 or something?
Well, the number we decided on was that we calculated how much money we would make from an average Tailosive viewer. And if we lose them from YouTube, and let's say they watch all of our content on the app and they don't watch any of our content on YouTube, the only way we could make it still somewhat profitable, and we're making very little money here, we're talking less than $1, is if they paid $3 a month. So that's the number we've decided on, to remove all the ads from the app. There won't be any commercials if you're part of the $3 a month subscription, which I think is fairly
fair.
reasonable. It's a quarter of the price of YouTube Premium, and I get that it's probably not, as YouTube Premium probably gives you way more options than our app does, but
if you're only watching Tailosive, then
exactly. And if you're signing up for the app to remove ads, you're probably wanting to support us directly, and that's likely the most efficient way to do that. So,
and how many people need to be on this $3 a month subscription in order for it to balance out to pay for itself?
I think we ran the numbers and found that in order to break even, we needed like 60 paying members.
And so we can kind of like use a ratio and say, like, if 10 people were paying for the thing, then it'd have to be $18, right?
It won't change according to, but the thing is, if less than 60 people sign up for the subscription, the amount of money we'd be losing from YouTube is like little. So obviously we don't want to make an app that's like such a good deal that we lose money, because that would be bad for us. So we're trying to make sure we find the perfect balance of like, okay, the price is low enough so that we're not losing money, but at the same time,
It needs to be worth your time.
the free version isn't gonna make us lose all of our income on YouTube. So we're trying to balance it out.
And
just
Nick
right.
is in chat. He said,
Yeah.
Ben, there will also be a tip jar. So what is that?
The tip jar, I believe, Oh yeah, don't worry about that, Ben. We've taken into consider Apple will take a cut. We have a percentage that's going to go straight to our developer Ethan, so we have that worked out. So he's going to get a portion of the money. And Nick
Nick's
and
like,
Sweeney,
I'm an accountant.
he's an
I've
accountant,
run the
and
numbers.
he's
Nick,
very
can you do our
graciously,
taxes for us? Our tax lady's being a. I'm not. She doesn't want to take
But
us.
she's nice. She's
Yeah,
just
but
busy.
she's making us wait a whole month.
That's because so many people want our tax lady. She's that lovable.
We need to be able to do our own taxes. TBH.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of business stuff I have questions about, and I have talked with Ann Sweeney about it before, but he's kind of more accustomed to Colorado law than California law, so it's a little different. But yeah, we've taken into account what our developers getting paid, what Apple gets paid, what we get paid, and how much we lose off of YouTube. All of this requires a ton of mathematical calculations behind the scenes that Ann Sweeney's very graciously helped with.
Yes,
so we
thank
think
you, Nick.
with these prices in this situation, we won't lose anything. That's the goal. Obviously, if more than 67 people sign up for the service,
Then that's more benefit.
then we gain money, which would be even cooler. So hopefully people are up for that if the app works. But again, all of this stuff is probably months and months and months, maybe even years away. Because
Well, let's hope not years.
yeah. Well, the goal right now is just to get the app working. And I can tell you right now, as someone who's kind of like testing it, it's cool, and I'm enjoying the development process. But right now, it crashes very easily, and it's not stable yet. So it's not like we're just a couple weeks away from the release yet. Everyone always asks questions like it's about to drop
Yeah, a
any
couple
day.
weeks. No way. If
Yeah,
you
we're
want
not
to
close.
release a half-done project, then maybe, but
Yeah, no.
you want it to be completely
And we're gonna do a what's it called, test flight on
beta
the
test.
app. Yeah, when we decide that it's fairly stable and we want people to start looking for bugs,
Get like 10.
then we'll get
10 new people.
or anyone who's like a Twitch Prime member or something. We'll give them rights to test the app, and then patch those bugs for a little while, and then release it when we think we've created a fairly stable app. But yeah, we're not there yet. We're not even ready for beta testers because the bugs and the glitches are quite visible
Right.
already. But yeah, we'll get there. It's a long process. I know there's plenty of people. Anytime I mention the beta testing, that I'll go, I'll do it. It's like no.
You always have a lot of excited
Too much.
fans.
Yeah, they're very interested in testing out the app, but I can tell we have good demand for it.
Good.
A lot of people asking.
And a lot of people are asking about if you are going to sign up for Disney Plus
Are
or
we?
your thoughts. What?
We have shared finances.
Oh, that's
so
true.
This is a joint decision. What do you think? Do you want to
I
sign
don't
up?
know what it is.
So Disney,
explain.
at some point this year, I think, is launching their own Netflix, basically.
What?
Oh, yeah.
I thought this was going to be like one of those fast passes to the park
Oh,
or
no.
something.
No. They've capitalized on all that already. But this is going to be a streaming service. But think of all of the content Disney owns. Mm-hmm. They own Marvel. They own Star Wars. They own Disney Animation. They own Pixar. They own a bunch of stuff. And the rumor is they're going to pull all the content they own from other streaming services. So they're going to pull their animated movies from Netflix, and their Marvel movies and their Star Wars movies from all other streaming sites and put it on theirs. So what do you think? Was that worth signing up for?
Did you say the price? How much was it? Or will it be?
They haven't announced what it will be, but they did, I think, earlier claim that it's going to be competitive with Netflix. So I imagine it's
With
going to
only
be.
Disney products, though? Like, that doesn't seem worth
Disney's
it.
like 80% of the Hollywood movies.
Is it?
Yeah.
80%.
Marvel, Star Wars, animation.
I don't care about
Pixar.
Marvel. Marvel can...
I'm just saying they own a ton of movies and TV
Right.
shows. So
Well, not at any of the interesting ones.
probably, let's say it's
They
going to
didn't
be
even
the
have
same
Aladdin
price.
anywhere. Do you remember that? We are trying to find
Yeah.
Aladdin. It's
That's
not,
what I'm saying.
it's not on
pulled it.
iTunes.
They've already pulled it. So Aladdin would be on
Those
Disney.
jerks. Making us pay $10.99 for Aladdin. No, thank you. Thank you. Next.
Okay, 33%. But I'm still saying they own a ton. They own the biggest ones. Some of the most profitable movies of all time are owned by Disney. But What you do not think that's worth it, so you wouldn't want to sign up?
I don't know. Like, I like Disney movies, but I've watched most of the ones that I'm interested in. Like,
Yeah.
I can't think of a Disney movie that I haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there are those people who need to watch movies like 5 times. Wait, is the Incredibles? Is that
That's
Disney?
Pixar. Yeah. So it's Disney.
Okay, we got to watch that.
Yeah.
Like, before they pull it. Quick.
It's up right now.
Yeah, but we're waiting for Ross, right?
Yeah, we're gonna wait for my buddy to come back
And we
home.
can all watch it together because I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
I've
good.
only seen the meme format with Mrs. Incredible
Yeah.
driving down the car and this little girl
Holds
holds
up
the sign.
She's like, "Wow, what does your sign say?" Subscribe to PewDiePie. And she's like,
Yeah.
"That's a good meme." But yeah, I know that you have kind of a different childhood than I do, so you don't really have that nostalgia attachment to Disney, probably as much as I do. Like, I grew up with Aladdin and what's it called? There's a bunch of movies from Disney I used to watch. Mulan and Pocahontas and
I don't think I've ever seen Pocahontas.
yeah.
I've
That's a
seen
good
Mulan.
one. There's 2. There's Pocahontas 1 and 2.
Why?
And there's obviously I hate the new movies, but I love Star Wars and I love Marvel films and I love all that stuff. So they're going to have a ton of things I want to watch.
You are the demographic that they're catering for.
Yeah, and I'm a pretty big demographic. There's a lot of people like me.
Really?
I like them big. Those
I think
libraries.
Moto likes you.
Yeah, a lot of people I think are going to sign up for it, but
We'll have to
Lion
see.
King, that's a good one.
So you think it's worth it?
It kind of depends. Like, I like Marvel and I like Star Wars and I like the Disney animated movies, but the thing is, I don't know if I need to see more than like 1 or 2 a month.
Right.
And the thing is, you can rent them on other services.
But if they're pulling them off of every other service, then it's...
Streaming services, they're pulling them off. I don't know if they're pulling them off to rent or buy.
okay.
They
Yeah,
might keep
they'd be
those.
losing a lot of money if they pulled that completely.
Right. Well, they'd be smart because maybe they'd get me to pay for it. But like, if I can rent Avengers Endgame for $4 on iTunes, I would rather do that than pay $12 a month for Disney Plus just so I can watch Mulan every once in a while or Lion King. Like, I love those movies, but yeah, they like Star Wars is also I'm a big fan of, but it's definitely not something I watch like regularly. So obviously, like most streaming services, they're going to have to come up with their own original TV shows that you can only get on those.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're doing a Star Wars show that'll only be on Disney Plus, and they're going to do, I think, a Marvel show that's only going to be on Disney Plus, and they're going to be doing all kinds of exclusives. And if the exclusives are getting good reviews and people like them, I might check them out. But yeah, I don't know. If it's just Disney's whole stockpile of movies, I don't know if I'd sign up for it. But I'm sure there's a free trial. We'll probably just make a new email account every time we want to watch something for
The
free.
free trial always sucks us in.
Yeah.
Someone said, if you give me 100,000, I'll give you a Tesla Model S. That sounds like a great deal.
Model S is less than that, bro. Oh, well.
Yeah, isn't it like 71?
I think the Model S starts at around 71 or something like that, but it's definitely not 100 starting price. It goes well above that, but yeah. Anyway.
Maybe he meant the X. Because the X is over 100,000, right?
Yeah, I think the X is more, but I'm excited for the Model Y this year. That's
so he can spell sexy.
Yeah.
And the pickup's going to ruin it, though. The Tesla pickup.
Well, technically, he made a Tesla called the semi truck, which the website labels as semi. So right now it says semi-sex. And then when he releases the Y, it'll be
inappropriate.
Semi-sexy.
Wait.
My middle name.
Nick said 84,000 is the base Model S. That sounds really expensive.
Well, we probably heard 71
base.
from people saying after incentives and stuff like that.
Tax rebates.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, that's how they get you. But now they don't have those tax rebates.
Wait, are they stopping that?
Well, the law changed. So before there was a law that said like we would give you a tax break if you bought a Tesla.
Now they don't care.
And now they're like, well, there's so many people buying Teslas, we can't.
We don't really need to do this.
Tax breaks, yeah. The cars were getting more and more affordable. But when they removed the tax break, they lowered the price of the Model 3, $2,000. So that was kind of nice.
That is nice.
But hopefully they get lower and lower. I'm sure
Yeah.
they will.
We need one like under $30.
I want to, but did you ever tell them how much your wedding dress was?
No. I'm not going to tell them
They
unless
haven't
someone
guessed
guesses it.
Okay,
guesses
okay.
It.
Can they guess it in super chat form?
Oh. Now that's a dare.
See, I'm a genius of money.
But what do they get back, though?
Bragging rights?
Drew will take his shirt off.
No. Yeah. Okay. Sure. I'll take
Silly.
my shirt off if you guess it right in super chat form.
Manic says, if I paid you $1 million, would you permanently use a pixel?
No.
Actually, we use a lot of pixels every day. It's all over my computer
Yeah,
screen.
hey, I would win on technicality. Look, I'm using
So
thousands
he'd had to
of
pay
pixels.
you like $1,000 million for each pixel you use.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Was there anything else on the list you wanted to get to?
I went to the dentist yesterday.
Oh, yeah. How was that? Did you get a filling?
Always so much fun.
Oh, I love the
I'm like
dentist.
so mad at myself and all the candy I've eaten over the past 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
I literally had, 8 cavities that I had to have filled.
Ooh.
And that cost a pretty penny. I'm sorry, hun. Our bank account is drained from all the teeth that I had to get filled. But it is such an awful experience, even if it's good. Like, my dentist is amazing. He's so
good.
patient, and he always, asks me how I'm doing. But, like, the actual, like, drilling and everything, even though I can't feel what he's doing, like, there's this mouthpiece that's just like this rubber thing, and it's really... Sorry, I shouldn't do that.
That's all right.
It's really big, and it keeps my mouth open, but I literally can't swallow the whole time. Like, I don't know. Like, when I try to swallow, it's weird because my mouth is open, so you're like... like and it's really awkward. There's, like, my dentist and my hygienist, so it's like these two people are in my mouth. And drilling, like, I don't know, whatever. And also the shot, that's pretty painful too. I hate needles.
Yeah.
And the thought of a needle going inside my gums, like,
Ugh.
doesn't that just freak you out?
This sounds miserable.
But you've had a filling before.
Yeah, I don't mind. I've had the same dentist my whole life, and he just retired. So my next trip to the dentist is going to be someone I've never met before.
Right. I think you should go to my dentist. He's really good.
Yeah, I will.
We'll have to see
that's a good
if
idea.
you're covered under his insurance.
Yeah, for sure. And we got a super chat from Danny Dunn for $199, which is not the price of the dress.
Nope.
But I appreciate the donation. So
Danny Dunn donated to us.
if
Sorry.
if anyone super chats the price of the dress, I'll take a shirt off.
Ben Close had an astute observation.
What's
He
that?
said, but you have another shirt underneath that shirt. Why do you think I said Drew's going to take off
No,
his
he
shirt?
wouldn't actually do it, but
No.
that's why I hesitated at first and then went, oh yeah, you know what? I'll take him off.
Dentists are gone. Do, 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 do.
No more dentists.
That's great. My dentist, after he scraped out all the dead decay,
Oh.
he's like, this is empty.
Yay! Nice. I want a dank dentist.
Yes.
That
he's
sounds
super
fun.
dank.
A lot of people
All
like
right.
my
We are coming up on our hour. Did
Oh.
you have any last final topics?
closing remarks. I don't know. I don't think I have anything. If
Any
you wanna
plans
wrap
for
this up.
tomorrow?
What is tomorrow? Friday?
Friday? You got Dad's sweaty gym.
Dad's sweaty gym.
What is it? Gym for
He
muscles?
calls it Dad's Gym for Muscles, which is a reference to The Office. Because Dwight makes a gym in the office, but it's all like things from his barn that he just put in a room. Mm-hmm. It's like pick up buckets of nails and
A beet can.
beat or like tear tin foil with like metal scissors. Mm-hmm. Dang, dentist inbound. But yeah, I don't know. I'll probably make a video. I'll probably make some videos tomorrow.
Yes.
I guess it's Friday.
And-
I'll have to make the Saturday short. That's what I'm
Right.
gonna have to make.
Do you have any idea what you're doing?
No, I'll have to think of something.
Ooh.
I have a couple back burner Saturday
Good.
short ideas.
You
I'll
should
probably
just have
think
a
of
list
something.
of ideas constantly running, just like
Yeah.
our brainstorm list.
Our podcast we come up with a bunch of ideas and then we ignore most of them.
Well, you say a bunch of ideas. We come up with maybe 5 ideas, and
Yeah.
3 of them are kind of lame. So it's like,
Yeah.
you really got to pull stuff.
See, this is why, like,
Nowhere.
before, when I'd work with people, they'd say, like, you need to plan all your tech videos in advance. And I was like, that's not going to work. Because I can barely do, like, 2 in advance.
Right.
And they wanted me to do, like, 10. And I was
When
like,
was
no,
this?
that's not happening. Like, back when, like, Nathan was the editor, he would talk about, like, well, let's just plan out all our videos for the next 10 days. And I was like, good luck with that.
Your spit literally
I'm sorry.
reached all the way over here.
I'm sorry, huh?
That's impressive.
I'm sorry. That's gross.
No, it's not gross, hun. Do you really think I think your spit is gross?
No, I guess not. But still, it's gross.
It's not.
I should
Stop
keep
it.
my spit in my mouth. But anyway, do you have any closing remarks?
No, just thank you guys for watching. This has been a fun podcast, and hopefully we'll have some new different tidbits or like side shows we could do.
Sure.
Like, I want to do more reaction kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, let's see if I'm gonna answer a couple last questions.
Okay.
I don't know what SwiftKey is, so you keep asking about that. I have no idea what it is, so I'm not gonna have opinions on it. And
Wait, is that like swipe?
I don't
no.
know.
Swipe like when you swipe.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but I don't use it. The TCU is dead. Project Photon's never happening. Completely Irrelevant Season 3 is never happening. I'm going to kill all your dreams. Computer Lab is never happening because we don't even have access to that computer lab anymore. It doesn't work. But anyway, thank you for your super chat. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you all in the next one.
Yeah,
Take
bye
care.
guys.
Bye-bye.